What is going on? What is going on? Everybody in the house, what is going on? Wake up in Cleveland every single morning.
I wake up, flex, I'm down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell 'em run it up. I wake up, flex, I'm down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it up.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is for you guys. Welcome to the DJ Cleveland Terry Show. This is Tech Thursday, and we are glad that you're here. So we're gonna start this off with a bang. No, we're not gonna do all that. We're just gonna have a good time and try to answer any questions that you might have. I'm trying to just make sure that all my chats are working properly. The audio issues. Echo. If there's an echo coming, it has probably zero to do with me since I haven't changed anything. Try to refresh real quick. Just make sure. Try to refresh. Stop telling me echo. I see it, guys. But try to refresh. I haven't changed anything. Stop telling me echo. I see it, guys. But try to refresh. I haven't changed anything. Stop telling me echo. 2-2. But try to refresh. I haven't changed anything. Stop telling me echo. 2-2. But try to refresh. I haven't changed anything. Stop telling me echo. 2-2. 2-2. Is there an echo now? Anybody hear echo? Big echo. 2. Is there an echo now? Anybody hear echo? I literally haven't changed anything. Is there an echo now? Hold on. Anybody hear echo? Better? I literally haven't changed anything. Is there an echo now? Hold on. Anybody hear echo? Better? It's delayed by about 50. Okay. Hold on. Better? It's delayed by about 50. Okay. Hold on. Better? It's delayed by about 50. Okay. Hold on. All right, what is going on, everybody? It's your man, Cleveland Terry. We are at the Chauvet booth, and we are checking out some of the new stuff that they have. First off, I got to talk about this guy right here. You know what this is? This is the Gig Bar case. It is a hard case. Hard case. Go ahead, open it up. Open it up. Oh. It is about damn time. About damn time. Also, I want to show you something else because I'm shocked. Remember in my video last time, guys, I talked about the fact that the Gig Bar Move was cool with the ILS, but it needed its own controller. If I didn't want to rock the Gig Bar, like maybe I just wanted to rock some totems. Guess what? Bam! Bam! ILS command. This is exactly what Chauvet needed. Exactly. All right. So if you we're saying there's echo, I hear you. All right. So if you we're saying there's echo, I hear you. All right. So if you we're saying there's echo, okay. I hear. I see that. Okay. Not sure where it's coming from because I haven't changed anything. So please hold. Okay. Not sure where it's coming from because I haven't changed anything. So please hold. Okay. Not sure where it's coming from because I haven't changed anything. So please hold. Okay. I think I know what it is now. All right. Hold on one second. I think I know what it is now. I think I know. All right. Hold on one second. Okay, let's try this again and see if that fixes it. I think we're okay now. I'm going to assume we are okay now. There was a browser tab that was up. Okay. Yeah, there was a browser tab that was up and well, it was sitting on one of my pages well deep in there that I couldn't even see. So that's why. That's why I said I haven't changed anything. So welcome out, guys. Welcome out, girls. It is DJ Tech Thursday, aka 404 day. I don't know. That's supposed to be some special day for a lot of people out there. And well, it's special to me too. Thanks for hanging out. I had to wait 5 seconds to make sure. Yeah, we all did. We all had to wait to see. The first indication I had was on the Roadcaster. There's one line on the secondary page. This is one of the things that I dislike about the Roadcaster. As good as it is, I hate the fact that I can't see all of my tracks. Essentially what it does is it takes the first like 5 and then it kind of pushes the other ones to the next page. So you can't really see what, if there's audio coming from a certain section on, the one I had from Tascon, I forget what it's called. Mixcaster Pro. You could see every single file. It's a little bigger, but the screen was bigger. So it allowed you to see everything, which allows you to obviously troubleshoot faster. But it is what it is. It looks good. I mean, do we always buy things just because they're functional? Sometimes we get things because they look good. And not that you can see it right now, but it looks good. As a matter of fact, I'm a little off here. All right. That's better. That's better. So on my on my desk, I have the Mackie DLZ. The XS, I like the XS. The problem with the XS is well, it's actually not as small as you think. I mean, it's smaller, but it's not as small as you would absolutely think. But it's a good board though. It's a good board. Sometimes I think that when I love Mackie, I do. I mean, I think they're like the little engine that could. while they don't make the best product, the products they do make are of sound quality at affordable prices. Okay, so you can't really judge them harshly because that's really the market they're in. But it feels like sometimes they don't know exactly what the market wants. So, they'll come out with a product and it'll be good, but it won't be great because they decided to make some design choice or something that was just a little off. And you're just like, I don't understand why you would do this. So, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not going to complain too much about them. There's things like the Mackie Thumb Go, which I think for the price point, for what it is probably one of the best units at that price compared to anything, compared to the Evers, compared to the Alpha Theta speaker. I forget what it's called. The Wave 8. These are all solid speakers, but the price point is what separates out the Thumb with all the other speakers. Is it just me or is there an issue with the stream? It's just you, logistical styles. So, hello. How's everybody doing? Let's do a little room check in here, see who's in the room. We got Philip Tan, Alger Cable, V Squared. I saw the DJ plug in here. Ricky Reds, Keith Just, Jay Davis, Isomatic, Max XPL, Mixmaster G in the building, 5-Star Productions, Kalo. Who else we got in here? DJ XXL. Okay, gotcha. Professor BX in the building. And that's okay. Big Echo. You know what though? As much as it annoys me, it's not annoying me because you guys wrote it 75 times in the comments. Echo, echo, echo. It annoys me that it even happened to begin with. I really hate the small little technical glitches, especially the ones that are avoidable, but maybe you just don't see them. Like, that's annoying to me. Messes up the flow. And then people come on and they're like, oh, and then they get off and then they come back on and it's just silly. Okay. So, let's see here. Let's check out some questions. You guys know how this works. If you have a question, make sure you put in the hashtag ask. That way I can see it a little Easter. That way I can see it a little easier. I was looking at Don Rafa's comment and it threw me. Easter easier. You see how that works. How was your Easter weekend? Well, how was my Easter weekend? What did I do? I didn't have Easter. I know that much because I'm a Jew. But what did I do? I feel like, oh, okay. So was that this weekend? Everything's starting to turn into a blur because we're getting into the really, really busy season. So let's see, where was I? Yes, okay. So Saturday morning, I had a day party. Morning party technically. So I had to be at my event at 9:30 on Saturday morning or 10 o'clock. The party went from 12 to 4:30. So day parties. Now, if anybody's ever done day parties, we all understand that day parties are exceptionally difficult. No matter who you are, no matter what you're doing, day parties are difficult. Why are they difficult? Well, day parties are difficult because people aren't expecting to party hard during the day. People aren't expecting to, expend a lot of energy when there's windows and sun and it may be a little warmer and it's 12:30 in the afternoon. Like, nobody wants to go hard at 12:30. So they're always a little harder. Not always, pretty much all the time. They're every time. So there are ways that you can combat this. One of the ways is to schedule your party at a nightclub, at a place that has no windows, because then what happens is, when you go to the movies, maybe you go to the 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock show, and the movie's a couple hours, and you watch the movie, and then you leave, and you open the door, and all the sunlight comes out, and you're like Dracula, like, ah. That's kind of what day party vibes are. If you can get a room that has no windows, or you can effectively cover the windows, stop the light from coming in, people will forget. They will absolutely forget that it is the daytime. And then they will actually typically dance harder. So that's the first thing I will say. I mean, obviously, if you're outdoors, if you're doing those types of things, you can't really combat that. I get it. But if you have any effect over where the party is, tell them to close the windows. I had one lady, she was like, I really want it to be this amazing party. And I'm just like, you have any blackout tape or blackout paper? I'm like, cover it up, cover the whole thing up. And her party went really, really well. Cess in the city. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, fam. Hey, this always helps team. And by the team, I mean me, and trying to do everything. Thursdays are always difficult, no matter how much I try to not make them difficult. And I appreciate you guys giving whatever you can, because it does help. Like I said, I have kids in dance and kid going into college. And it ain't cheap. Sorry, I'm listening right now because I think there's somebody home at my home. But I don't see any cars but mine. So let me see where my son is. Looks like my son is home. Why is he home? Anyway, the beard getting gray, man. What the F? You guys say things like I have any control over the grayness of my beard. It's gray. It is what it is. I could dye it. I could do that. I mean, if you wonder where my gray is, I won't do Just for Men. Sorry. I'm not putting those chemicals on my face. If I do anything, it's got to be something that is non-toxic. This is my gray. This is what I look like. I have let it go. Now, I've never dyed my face. Never. So, and it's not because I'm trying to be this pro, old people. Like, it's not about that. I just have never dyed my face, and I need a shave. A lot of times, if I just take a little off the top, the gray lessens. But I haven't done anything right now. But I've never dyed my hair. Cut it off. You cut yours off, Wayne. Tell me to cut my hair off. It's my face. I think people get confused. Like, I'm not embarrassed by my gray. My biggest thing about the gray was never the gray. It has always been about, prior to the gray becoming even, that was a problem. Because I used to have gray and it was like one side. That was annoying. But now that it's even, like, I don't really have a problem with the gray. I don't. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I actually like it here. When it comes on the sides, it gets a little thing, and especially if I don't shave under here. But the gray is not about, oh, you look a certain way. I've never thought that. Okay, you know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with the gray, but like I said, I've never dyed it ever. I am going to dye it at least one time, just to see. That's all. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's gray or not gray. I just want to see. Now, the best DJs have gray. There you go. There you go. Now, do you ever plan on to stop DJing? Do I ever plan to ever stop DJing? Well, that is a very good question. I think the answer is no. I think in any situation, your loves are your loves. So even if I was older or when I become older, yeah, I would still love to DJ. Now, the difference is, I guess, in what capacity you are DJing. So I have a multi-op. So, at a certain point, if I decided that I did not want to work, I could not work and I'd still be fine. Okay. Because of the multi-op. But I still enjoy it. And, I like to think that I'm still good at it and my clients still love it. And I think that there are different levels. I've been DJing since I was 13 years old, but when I used to MC more, and I'm not talking about a wedding MC or something like that. When I used to MC like for the bar mitzvahs, and it was just like, it was the me show and I was on stage and dancing around and, in the crowd. When I used to do that, in my mind, there was an age limit. And once you get to a certain age, and not the number, I don't want to confuse people. It's not the number. It's the mentality. Okay. And the mentality for me was, I don't want to dance around with these fucking kids. That was the mentality for me. And once I got to that way in my brain, in my mind, I couldn't do it anymore. So I stopped that part. A wedding, I could do a wedding in my sleep as far as, being older. I don't really care about that. DJing, I don't think there's an age on DJing. I think if you're good and you're still aware and you're still appreciative of what it is that we're doing and you stay relevant and current, I don't think that there's anybody that can take away your ability to DJ. If you're good, you're good, and, a lot of these established DJs, I don't see anybody telling Jazzy Jeff to put the records down unless he's putting the records down. Sorry, that was corny. That was really corny, but that's my whole thing. I think that, you do what you love. And again, but I do think from a sales perspective, there's certain things that I just wouldn't feel comfortable doing. That's really it. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing. I mean, I have a friend of mine. He's also in the industry, and I think the man is like, he's like 75 years old, and he's still doing bar and bat mitzvahs, and I commend him because it's absolutely something that I could not do. I could not be a 75-year-old MC jumping around with kids. I just cannot connect. Can't connect. But as a DJ, if you're dope, you're dope. That's it. If you're dope, you're dope. So there are differences. Yep, Jazzy Jeff is a huge thing. He's huge. I mean, as long as he keeps going, I think a lot of people are going to keep going. Now, here's the thing. Speaking of beard, yeah, I could just cut it off and then no more gray. And, because I do understand that having the beard does a couple of things. Having gray in the beard. A couple of things. One, it can make you look wiser. This is true. A lot of people, dignified. A lot of people like that. But two, it can make you look older. And not older like in a good way. So it is what it is. I'll keep it until I don't want to keep it anymore. But I feel like if you're, you stay in good health, you got a nice physique, you stay active, I think that gray flips. Now you're now you're the good physique, good looking old guy. That's a difference. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. Nope. No. That was never me. Yeah. Never done any DMC battles. Never done any battles in reality, period. That's not my style. It's not my style. And that's okay. You know, I just, that takes a different level of commitment that I don't have. I mean, it takes a different level of commitment. It takes a different level of, well, I mean, commitment is the real word, because any type of battles are like the amount of time you have to spend doing these types of things is just on another level. And it's just like anything you do, especially artistically. Like, I don't know if anybody produces music out there. I assume that some of you do, since you are DJs, you know what I'm saying? But anytime I would produce music, you know, the first few times, trash, just absolute trash. It's just not good. But the more you're involved in it, the more you do it, the more it becomes more natural, the more in your brain you start being able to see more creative things to do. So when you're doing word plays, when you're trying to discover that, when you're trying to do, you know, combo tricks and things like that from a hands scratch perspective, the more you work on that, the better you become at that. So sometimes, you'll be driving around, and all of a sudden a thing will pop in your head. You'll know exactly the way you want to do it, the style, the way, you know, the timing. It'll all be in your head. That's just from that consistent practice. And I didn't have the time. I never had the time to do it. I unfortunately have done too much in my life. But I never truly devoted when I was producing music, and I had my hip hop group, my rock group. Absolutely, I was invested in it. You had to be to keep making music. But for everything else, you know, if I'm DJing, I'm also a b-boy and a breaker, and I'm dancing. And yes, I did do tons of dance battles. You know, that was where my focus was. You know, so I never really gave everything besides the music, you know, 100%. But scratch battles. Also, I didn't have I DJ'd, but I couldn't afford my own turntables. I couldn't afford my own turntables until I was out of the house. Because when I was younger, I always DJ'd on my friends' equipment. That was it. Couldn't afford my own, you know? So, there's that. Anyway, but dancing is free. I can dance anywhere, but couldn't DJ everywhere. Okay. 69 and still going strong. Rad Rock. That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Keep doing your stuff, man. Started DJing again at 47, says V Squared. Okay. Otis is a producer learning how to DJ. It's okay to know where you are. It's okay. DJ Long says, okay, no gear chat. I'm out. DJ Long, hit the road. There is gear chat all the time. You guys are frustrating. You randos are frustrating. Maybe learn how the system works first with this show before you throw out dumbass comments. And then you would know that we talk a little bit about life, and we talk a little bit about gear, and we talk a little bit about business, and we talk a little bit about everything. That's why it says the Cleveland Terry DJ Show. It doesn't say the Cleveland Terry Gear Show or the Gear Show. It's not very specific because the show is not very specific. But if you have a question about gear, maybe you ask the question. Go that route first before you look silly. Now, let's see here. Mark Beecher, turning 63, took 22 pounds off. I can't be fat and old. Exactly. Exactly. I think the weight gain is what kind of defines you. Oh, now he's a grandpa. Now he's a grandpa. He's old. He's out of touch. He's just sitting on the couch with his hands in his pants, opening up his belt. I don't want to be that guy, because I've seen a lot of cool ass old dudes that are hip, full white beards, but they look stylish. They got riz, as the kids would say. As the kids would say. All right. It's ironic that his name was DJ Long. He doesn't really go long. Okay. I'm here for the cookie recipe. It says Mixed Master G. All right. Young Nick. Is it hard to grow on TikTok as a DJ from the start? Because I only have 92 followers. It's hard to grow anywhere. It's hard to grow anywhere. Okay. All right. There's no surefire way to do anything successfully when it comes to social media. Okay. There's just no way. The ways that you can help yourself is stay consistent. Stay consistent. That's key, no matter what you do. But here's the thing, first off, you have to ask yourself why you're trying to grow. What purpose, something's in my eye. What purpose does DJing on TikTok do for you? Is it just about the numbers? Is it about, having a lot of followers or clout? Is it about, I'm doing this so I can get booked on other things? Is it, I'm doing this for practice? There's a lot of little things you have to kind of look at here. And like I said, there's no easy way to get big on anything. It took me forever to get my numbers on social media, forever. But it's consistency. So this is what I will say about anything you do socially. It's the one thing I will stand by. People will not naturally follow you off of one amazing anything. Okay? One amazing post, one amazing reel, one amazing video. Nobody does that. All right. What you're going to have to realize that people like a body of work. So if I go to your page, your profile, I'm looking at your stuff, and one of your videos happens to pop up on my stream, and I'm on my algorithm. I'm like, okay, this looks good. Yeah. I hit the love button. I keep swiping. Okay. Then maybe the following day, maybe later on in that day, whatever, I'm back on, and you pop up again, and it's dope again. Now I'm going to hit that heart, but I'm also going to go click on your profile. And then at that point, that is when you are going to make or break that person actually following you. And what I mean by that is your body of work is more important than anything else you do. So when people are like, I'm going to limit the amount of videos I do, I'm going to limit the amount of content I make, that's a bad idea, because your content is what tells people that you're serious. Like for instance, on YouTube, I tell people, hey, you know what? You're probably not even going to get looked at until you hit, 30 to 50 videos. It's just the way it works. You'll get some likes, you'll get some random subscribers, but in general, that kind of higher burst where people are consistently following you, you're not going to see that until you hit a certain level, because people are human. And if I like something you do, and like another thing you do, I'm going to go, what else do they do? And I'm going to click on your profile. And if the rest of your stuff is the same quality, then I'm going to follow you. And that's the same way, on all the social media, TikTok, especially. I don't know why. Every time I open up TikTok, it's like the same person always on my front page. Always. The algorithm's trying to force something down my throat. If they're good, I like them. I will finally follow them. So it just depends. It just depends. And I noticed you said I DJ, where'd you go? Young Nick says, because I know you have over 1,000 to go live. Okay. You have to have over 1,000 to go live. Yeah. I mean, quality of content is important. It's absolutely important. I haven't seen your content, so I can't really speak on it. But, if people aren't following you, you have to ask yourself, why? What am I doing that's not working? And and what steps do I take to kind of change it up? That's the key. That's the key. I'm trying to stay away from TikTok. Not for any reason other than I just don't really like it. So look, right now, mashed potatoes. Somebody making mashed potatoes. Oh, just moved over. See, I liked Lou. So now Lou is popping up on my feed. I follow Lou now, but what I'm saying is because I liked him, more things started to happen. Let's see if we can find Young Nick. We will take a look. Young Nick, is that your actual name? DJ Young Nick. Yeah, let me know what it's how you put it out there. Oh, there we go. I found you. No, that's just 2 followers. You said 93. So you're Young Nick 1, I'm assuming. Okay. I'm trying to get demonetized here. All right. All right, Young Nick. Hold on. Young Nick, that's you. Okay, perfect. All right. First off, here's a very simple thing that you can fix right now, and it will improve your viewership. Okay, I'm going to give you an example. Sorry, you're on screen. Okay, this is your last video right here, 3 days ago. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with the music. Obviously, you're DJing, but here's the thing. I can't tell that you're DJing. I have no idea. I have no idea that there's a deck underneath you. You are extremely close up to the camera. So I am not sure what I should be looking at. Okay. So first off, back up. Back up. That's the first key. Back up. Let people see what you're doing. Let people see that you're DJing. Cause all of these things, I mean, that one's okay. But even then, that's still very, very close. I would back up a little bit, give people a little more opportunity to kind of see what you're doing because it helps out. The closer you are, I don't know, it just doesn't tend to work. But what I will say is this, your numbers are consistent as far as your view counts. I mean, you get a couple of larger ones. Oh, and look, let me show you this. I mean, that was 900 views. And this one was a little over 900 views. But look, there's more gear in the screen here. Then, as you started to get closer again, your numbers started to kind of drop down. So back up a little bit. Let people see what you're doing. Angles are very, very important, especially when you're dealing with the situation where, you know, it's very limited when you shoot vertically, you know, to what you can and can't do. So, you know, work on that part. And, yeah, that's what I will say. Okay. Let's see here. All right. Don Ralph says, what are those XLR things on your desk? Wireless transmitters. So these are good eye. I mean, I guess it's not really good eye. They're sitting right there. Okay. These are Chauvet D-Fis. So these are my wireless DMX. Get in there. Find yourself. There we go. It doesn't like it. That's weird. There we go. Wireless DMXs from Chauvet. I use these guys instead of running cords, and I absolutely love them. The one thing I don't love, it's very silly. It's very silly. When you buy the pack and it comes with one transmitter and then 3 receivers. That's the pack. 1 transmitter, 3 receivers. Why in the world would you have 3 fixtures? I mean, fine, maybe you have 1 uplight, but why would you have 3 fixtures? Is it more realistic that you're going to have 2 movers and maybe, I don't know, 2 more movers? I don't think anybody was walking around with 3 movers. So I ended up with 1 DMX. I just put it in order for the 4th one because I do have multiple movers. And, but what I will say about these, you know, look, I know a lot of people use the Donners. There's several other ones. As a matter of fact, before these came out, this is the guy that people used to use, the D-Fi hub. There we go, the D-Fi hub. And this is still on all of my trusses, but I mean, tell me which one is better. You know what I mean? So once these guys came out, I bought them. Now, of course, they're not cheap. You know, they're a little bit on the pricey side, but what's good is they come with a nice little charging case that holds, which is you know what? I'm going to show you. Hold on. I'm going to show you what this thing looks like because it's sitting right on my desk here. Hold on. All right, so this is the box that it comes in. All right, I know it's dirty, but it's a damn charging box, so get over it. But the box is cool. I mean, it's a hub. It has a standard charging port and then 2 additional USB outs, which are great. But look, 8 slots, 4 devices. And to be fair, the one thing I will say about this is that I don't think this charges as fast as it should. A couple times I've kept them on for a few hours, and you know, for something this size, the battery that's this size, you would think that they would charge faster, but it hasn't happened. But they're really good. The battery lasts. What I do like about, I mean, this is the same for everyone, but you know, they have the charger slot right here, but then on the deck, there's also another charging. They're micro USB or mini USB, not USB-C. That's a little bit annoying, but I can just keep the cords in the box with it. I keep everything in an old Shure mic box, the WMX or the Sound Switch. I swap back and forth, and then these guys with the charging cords and small little, the little iPhone adapters. And because these are going into my movers, my movers have outlets on them, regular outlets, not power cons. So I can just and keep them charged. So that's key. I will say that I am not happy. I'm doing a video right now, in case you didn't notice.
All right, guys, what's going on, everybody? It's your man, Cleveland Terry.
I'm doing a video right now on the Chauvet. Why is it not? Why are you not in focus? I'm about ready to get a new overhead camera. That's coming very, very soon. If not this month, next month. I'm going to finally have to upgrade that camera because it looks good now, but it's just inconsistent. That's the key. So I'm doing a review on the Chauvet. I will not really discuss it here but what I will say is this. So you were asking about, let's see here. I just saw it up here. Hold on. Where did it go? The Donner DMX trimeters. I have 1 and 3. Yeah. Marketing strategy. Absolutely. Yep. Agreed. Okay. Have you seen or used the battery powered spots by Chauvet? You mean this guy? This guy right here, the Chauvet 60. Have I seen it? No, I haven't seen it. I heard it's decent though. I don't know if I'm going to do a review on it though. And there's a reason that I don't know if I'm going to do a review on it. It's very simple. It doesn't, sorry, something's in my eye. Anytime my fan blows, I just get random stuff floating around. It does not really do anything different than any other Chauvet mover, like at all. It's a good mover. Okay. But, one thing. Okay. This is what I will say. As I've been doing my review, this is my problem with Chauvet. Not with Chauvet specifically, but with Chauvet. This is the 60, okay? It just came out. All right, just came out. Look at the power inputs. Standard IEC, okay? Cool, great. Now, all right, Chauvet Intimidator Spot 260. 260. PowerCon. I don't understand. Like, make it make sense. Are we going to PowerCon? Are we staying IEC? It something has to give. When I'm looking at this one, this is a 260. So, you start making the argument, well, maybe they use the PowerCons for the more expensive stuff. No, they don't. There's no rhyme or reason. Sometimes there's PowerCon and sometimes there's IEC. I don't understand it. And it's frustrating the hell out of me because now I got to keep extra unnecessary cords just because. Like, just do one or the other. Please. One or the other. Okay. The next thing. The next thing, the 60. All right. Since I'm not going to do a review on it, I am doing a review on the command. That's coming up. As a matter of fact, that's coming up today. I was shooting it last night, but what I was doing in the video was testing which things would still work with the command ILS versus what wouldn't, because I am convinced of a certain thing. And I'm not going to say it on here because then you won't watch the video. And I'm not doing that. But the problem with the 60 is if you have the 160 to go along with it, you're rocking ILS. That's the whole point of it. You got ILS, so maybe you have a gig bar, and then you want to get a couple more movers. The 160s are essentially the same movers that are on the gig bar. So let's say you have the 160s, and finally you're like, you know what? It's fine, but I need something that's brighter. I need something that's going to be a little bigger. So you go with the 60. Now, what I will say about the 60, battery life is good. I used it during my day party this Saturday. It was, I had it on for 5 hours because I started it during cocktail, and then it kept on. Now, they weren't always on, but the light wasn't always out, but they were always moving. For some reason on the Command ILS, the movers still move. Even when you're in blackout mode, like they still do their thing. Sometimes blackout literally will just shut it down. It just depends. Okay. So they were running for about 5 hours. When I was done with the party, I turned them on. I think they were at they were either on 100% or like 98%. After the party was done, the battery was at 37%. So good amount of time, a 5-6 hours. That means it'll last you through a 6-hour party, 6-hour wedding. So you're going to be fine. The brightness on them is, on the 60 is, I believe it's 90 watts. I believe it's 90 watts. Okay. Hugo, I'll answer your question real quick. Does the firmware update for the Rev 7 fix the Tidal stems issue? Tidal does not have a stems issue. Tidal had made a choice. They chose not to allow stems on future updates of Serato and technically any DJ software out there. It's not Serato. Tidal told Serato to turn stems off, basically. So, April 10th, in another week, stems will be back in Tidal. So this whole thing will be gone. We won't have to worry about that anymore. Okay, back to what I was saying. So the 60s. Okay, yeah, the 60s are about 90 watts. So it's a good amount of light. It's a good amount of light. I rocked Intimidator 350s for years. And those had 75 watts of power, and they did just fine. Now, there's a reason that they do just fine. My partner has the ADJ spots that are like 200 watts. Like, he never runs them at full power because they're too damn bright. I think around 100 tends to be like the best, the sweet spot. Right at about 100. While 75 to me was like, it was good, but I wish it was a tad bit brighter, especially if you're maybe shooting gobos somewhere. But in general, about 100 watts, I think is about the sweet spot. So here's the thing I'm going to say about the Command. I'm not going to talk about anything else because I do want to shoot this video. But the gobos, the gobos are exactly the same. Yeah, feedback, 230 and up for production. Absolutely agree with you. 100%. Yes. Yeah, this is very, very true. What was I saying? Oh, okay. Yeah. So the gobos are exactly the same as in the 160s and in the 260s. Now, technically speaking, I understand why they're doing this. Okay, I really do. Because if you have a system like the Command, and within the system, you can change your gobos, it stands to reason that they don't want to have too many different gobos. And then it just confuses the system. I don't know what that means, Vicky Reds. So they don't want to confuse the system. They're trying to simplify it with the Command, but I think in doing so, it's kind of limiting what you can do. Does that make sense? Because now, if I'm using my 160s, right? And I'm like, okay, now I finally want to do something bigger. And I spend the money and I get a bigger, better mover. And it does the exact same thing. It's just a little brighter. I don't know. To me, I don't feel like I'm getting my money's worth. No, it's battery powered. So you can't dismiss that. It's battery powered and has wireless DMX built in. So you can't dismiss that. That's fantastic. I won't dismiss that. So that means, there's a lot of stuff I guess we can talk about. So that means that, if you have a WMX1 and you have one of these, you can control your wireless because it's still DeFi. The whole DeFi thing is kind of weird because the DeFi, all right, so we know that ILS command, I'm going to talk about one more thing on the 60 in a second, but we know that the ILS command sends out its own ILS signal. And they've been saying it's different. It's different. This is the reason why things don't work, because it's different. But in reality, in order to use your ILS fixtures that don't have the wireless built in, you need to use one of these. All right. Now, these aren't new. These have been around forever. These are the old school USB ones from Chauvet. They have the old dip switches, which I hate with passion. But you plug these in your ILS and then they work. Now, don't get it confused because they had DeFi pars and movers with these in there. You plug them in and then you can communicate with your board. So that right off the bat, I was like, well, if you're using the same USBs, how proprietary is it? Like, you're not really doing anything. You're just removing things. And then I realized, as long as there is a wireless signal, or I guess wireless capabilities on the par, on the uplights, here's the Chauvet, these are wireless right here. These are the Chauvet, the Freedom Par hexes. Okay. So these guys are, I can actually talk to the command ILS to the Freedom Pars because they're all using DeFi. Except it doesn't really work all that well. You see what I'm saying? It's been handicapped on purpose, is my opinion. I think that they could have done all of this stuff with the gear they already have, and they made a choice not to do it for business, for money. Now, I'm not faulting them on it. Hey, you got to keep people buying your product. So I'm not faulting them, but that's an issue. That's an issue. When I turn on my Freedom Par and it works on here without plugging it in, I just got to put it on the right channel. So the one thing, the 2.4 will not work feedback, because they're different. They're 2.4, but they're just different frequencies. So you can't use a Donner with the Chauvet, just like you can't use the Donner with the ADJ. It won't work if you're trying to just connect them, or the Chinese ones. Like there's like 3 different protocols out there. Okay. So back to the 60. So when you buy bigger movers, in my opinion, when you buy bigger movers, when you're running them, you're typically running them. I like to run a lot of my movers in Prism. Okay. It gives you more surface area impact, so if you guys don't know what a Prism is, Prism setting, your gobo is like this, right? And it could be anything. It could be like a tiger stripe or a wave or a scratch or whatever. So your gobo is like this. If you move it into Prism mode, your gobo turns from 1 to 3. All right. So now that circle surface area that you used to have is now like this. All right. So I like to run prism mode because it covers more area. And typically speaking, when you buy higher end movers, prism is a feature that you will get. The 60, and especially the rotating prism DJs, absolutely. The 60s have prism. The 160s do not have prism. Okay. They don't have prism. Great. But here's the problem. The 60s are built for the ILS command. That's one of the whole points of them. You can just use it and it works. And for the most part, I got video on it because I was testing it. It's going to go on my content today. I had 4 movers. I had the 160s and the 60s side by side. I was on a stage, so I just put them right on the ground, and then they did their thing, right? They all do different things, which is what you want ILS to do, okay, without you having to think about it. So they all do different things, but there's no prism currently on the ILS command. So one of the biggest features of the 60, you can't use. So that's a little bit of a deal breaker for me when it comes to ILS, because I run things in prism, especially rotating. A nice slow rotating prism that's crisp looks really, really good. Now, does that mean to say that they can't do a firmware update and add prism to it? Absolutely not. But I think they're also looking at it from the lowest common denominator, and that is the 160. Okay, or technically the movers on the gig bar ILS, because none of those do prism. So if I'm telling you, I'm not doing a whole video here, but the way this works is, it works similar to the oh, is this frozen? Sorry, we're frozen here. We are not frozen. My overhead is frozen. So let me just go into the settings real quick. Turn it off. Turn it on. Activate. Oh, you're gonna make me reset it, aren't you? Okay. Sorry, got to reset. Okay. So, all right, it's resetting. So once it comes back up, we'll get to it. So in theory, because it is limited in what it can do. There we go. There we go. Okay. So, it's very similar, not like to the WMX, but kind of to, what's the program? There's another program out there that's very much like this, but that's okay. All right. So the difference is, though, you have your movers, you got your pars, you got your laser, you got your strobe, and you got your derby. Think about it. Think about this like a gig bar move. All right. Your movers, your par, your laser, your strobe, everything that the gig bar move does is built into here. But you're allowed to, you're allowed to add fixtures on, and it will just take that and then make one the primary and one the secondary, just like every other system does. Okay. But here's the thing. If you have movers, then your movers are all here. They're never going to be anywhere else. All of your movers, every single one of them is going to be here. So if you have multiple movers and the mover, they all do different things like prism, you can't activate that. It's going to dumb down your devices. Because if I take the same 60 and plug it in via the WMX, I can operate my prism. It's there. So, you know, that's a little bit of an issue for me. Now, for most people, you know, I don't think the people are going to care. I don't think they're going to care for most people, but I don't know, man. I feel like, if you only ever want to do ILS, okay. I mean, the argument can be made. Look, I mean, for the longest time, I mean, these are, you know, shouldn't turn on because they're dead. These are the Ape Labs. You know, the Ape Labs lighting system is kind of contingent on the fact that you use pretty much nothing but Ape Labs lighting. And if you do that, you're in good hands. But if you don't, if you like to mix and match, it's gonna be a little bit of an issue for you. And the ILS is solid, but it's limiting. And, you know, I will go into real details on the video. I'm just giving you a little cliff notes. So make sure you watch the damn video. Okay. I don't want you to think that this is it. This is not all that there is. There's going to be a lot more. But the Chauvet, it's a good light, but it literally is just a slightly bigger version of the 160. And, I don't know. It just feels weird. Now, here's one thing I will say. I don't have, I noticed this in my testing mode, and it kind of shocked me a little bit. Okay, here we go. All right. Let's see. How do I get this over here since I don't have my computer up? Yeah, that's okay. All right. So I was shooting these in my house. And I just happened to, I wanted to get them all kind of fixated upwards so I could make some adjustments. And then I noticed this. Okay, let me see if I get a little better. It might not come through. Not going to come through because there's too much light in here. So I'm going to get my computer because I want to show you guys. I think it's important. Please hold.
All right, guys, what's going on, everybody? HMA, Cleveland Terry. I wanted to just do a quick video about this new unit. It's not out yet. It doesn't come out until July 31st. It hits market. I have to pre-order it pretty soon, though. All right, so this is Tim. This is the man, runs this thing. They came out with an amazing product. I haven't tested it yet, but based upon what I'm seeing, this is one of those to beat. It's a game changer. Moving platters. It's $700.
What's up, everybody? How are we doing today?
This is gonna sell like hotcakes. So I'm gonna do a review, but tell me just real quickly, like, what made you guys decide to do something like this?
The history of DJing is vinyl, right?
Yeah.
And motorized jog wheels is the best we can get right now,
Right.
in terms of replicating that with a digital controller.
Right.
So the Impulse T7
Okay.
is our shot at the motorized DJ controller market, and the largest, most premium controller we've ever made.
Okay.
And we're pricing it just like we price everything else in the Hercules lineup.
Super aggressive.
Competitively. Let's call it competitively.
I call it aggressive, he calls it competitively, fine.
We're targeting both, obviously, beginner DJs
Right.
who want to upgrade to a motorized platters,
Right.
or working DJs who want something small, want something portable,
Yeah.
want something that works with Strato Pro.
It has XLR out. Very important for a professional DJ that you have that. I'm impressed so far, though.
You'll see more of the T7 real soon.
All right, guys, follow my YouTube because you know we're going to do this review very, very soon. All right, see ya.
Okay, let me send this to my computer real quick, and then I'm going to show you. AirDrop, baby. Okay, there we go. This is why I can't leave Mac. I don't care what anybody says. AirDrop is a real thing. All right. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so as I was looking up at the ceiling, this is what I noticed. Not that. Now, these are all supposed to be white. These are all, this is white. Do you notice anything weird about this? These are two 60s and two 160s all shooting up. Now, I know the argument's going to be made. Well, the reason why it's because one's brighter than the other, but that's not the case. This is the case of having obviously different either companies or different parts that they're not really consistent. Again, I mean, look at these guys right here. These are both 160s. Why aren't these the same color? I mean, you're getting definitely a more consistent lighting with the 60 over, there you go, over that. So, yeah, 3 different temperatures. Exactly. So, that's a little bit of a thing for me. That says that I don't know, the manufacturing process is questionable, because those lights should all be the same. And for the most part, I get that there's a lumens issue, and a brighter light is going to potentially appear brighter. That's fine, but they don't appear brown. They don't appear off-white. This is an off-white temperature. That is not white. The blue, you're taking pictures with your camera, so I get it. It's going to come off a little bit, a pure white sometimes will look a little more bluish, especially from a camera perspective. But this off-white, that's not a matter of it being brighter than the other. It's just, they don't match. So, I guess it's, for most people, it's not a big deal. For most people, I understand. But if, you're using your lighting and you're in production and you need to have the room look a certain way and you're shooting off a white on this side and a white on that side, and somebody can go like this and see that the colors are different, like that's a problem for me. That's a problem. Now, for most DJs, and I know the argument's going to be, well, you're DJs. You don't care about that stuff. If you want, more consistent lighting and temperatures, you need to go to our premium brands and buy those. Anyway. Lumens are in temp. I know lumens are in temp. That's not what I'm saying. I was just referring to, I'm not referring to the temperature. We're talking, there's 3 different things here. There's the brightness, there's the color, which is your temperature. I mean, I have these on here right here. These lights can do different temperatures. So I have them set to, I don't even know what they're at. I think they're around 4,000, something like that. So anyway, but I do understand what you're saying. I do. And it's a matter, the actual, I guarantee you, the light source itself are obviously different between the 160 and the 60, but then within the light source, consistency checks are a thing. Maybe if you DJ better, people won't be looking up at the lights. I was on my couch watching a movie and trying to get the ILS to work properly. That's why Chinese knockoffs are killing it. Too cheap to complain about small issues, just replace. So the argument is fine, just replace. But, in a production environment, it can be it's tricky across the board. Okay. Now, where was I going with this? I was going somewhere with the 60s. Where was I going with this? I can't remember. Anyway, But I think the answer is this right here. With DJ Yoshi saying, "What's going on, fam?" There are tolerances. There is acceptable levels, error levels, and that's probably what this is. You know, it's simple. I mean, I know for a fact that quality is questionable. Quality control, I should say, because in my ILS, when you go to Gobo and you start changing the Gobo, it's hard to see, but this little guy's changing right here. Gobo 1, Gobo 2, 3, 4, 5, and it goes all the way up to what, 10? 10. And then it goes back to auto. When you go to Gobo, by hitting the Gobo button, I am selecting the Gobo, right? And I'm saying, stay on this Gobo. This is where I want you to stay. By the way, if you want to clear them all, you just hit the mover real quick again. Anyway, so I do all that. If I say, give me Gobo 4, the idea behind ILS is all the Gobos should be exactly the same, which is why you're not getting a better or a deviation on the 60 versus the 160. It's just a brighter, bigger version of it with the battery, obviously, but you can buy a 60 without a battery for a little cheaper. And then the question becomes, well, anyway. So this is what I've noticed. When I was running the Gobos and I would select a Gobo or was running on auto mode, the Gobos weren't even the same. They weren't even the same. It's like I have a completely different mover. One of my movers is just completely different. So, you know, that's an issue because, I mean, now if I really want them to be the same, I got to open up the light and switch out the Gobos, assuming that they're all separate and not just one big color wheel or Gobo wheel. That's annoying. That's annoying. That's annoying. Okay. I just noticed that I'm coughing and you can still hear that, but that's okay. All right. Let's see here. Never order your lights from JC Whitney. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I like to think I'm just slightly unlucky because I find issues in so much stuff. It's like, is it just me? Am I the one that's just getting the product that's breaking on me right in front of my face? Like it happens a lot. Now, I mean, and I bought those. Actually, my partner bought those because he knows I have an ILS system. I have multiple systems. Obviously, you guys know this. I mean, on my desk, there's a sound switch over there too. So I have a sound switch I can use. I have the WMX1, the ILS command now, and they all serve a purpose. They really do all serve a purpose. If you are using the gig bar move, I honestly don't think that there's anything better than the command if you are entrenched in ILS. Now, and you're only going to be able to do so much. You're not going to be able to do everything, but you're going to be able to do so much. I think if you want to be more hands-on, obviously, the WMX1, obviously, if you're doing anything that involves really wanting to pinpoint where things are and what they're doing. So you can't really do that on ILS. There's a follow spot setting, right here. But besides that, that's really the only way you can pinpoint. There's a follow spot setting and there is a freeze. And that's really the only way that you can like stop where your lights are. But it's not like the follow spot. Yes, you can get it to go from, your X and Y and have it go from here to there. You know, you have, I mean, I'll show you real quick. You have two different order here, you know, basically point A and point B, and you can adjust your X and Y coordinates, your color and your gobo, and then have it do something else. So you can do two. Now, there's two lines here. I mean, in theory, I don't know why they just couldn't make it to where you could literally design your own chain, you know, like a sequencer. It just, that'd be nice. Anyway, but the WMX1, so I have one, my partner has one, and it's funny, he had his for a lot longer than I have, but I'm just, you know, obviously I'm a little better at technology in general. So I went from my day party, we had a photo booth and a printer, and then we had a new person running the photo booth for the evening event. So I went over there to help them set up and to kind of train them. In the meantime, you know, they're setting up for the party, and the party's going, and their movies are working, but they're not really doing much, you know. And one of the things is, this is what I will say about the WMX1. I went over there and said, hey, just plug him in, you know, because he's like, I'm just gonna run him on auto. I'm like, no, just plug him in, you know, daisy chain the movers, and I'll work on them. So for, I don't know, 10 minutes, I literally reprogrammed, remapped, set up everything, set up his, you know, different positions and different gobos, and if they were on prism or not. And here's the thing, I didn't know his movers. I mean, as long as they're on the right channel, I don't know his movers. I don't know what they can or can't do, but because the WMX1, you know, has everything there, it makes it easier. And this is the difference between even this and like Sound Switch. Okay. Now, I haven't messed with the latest generation of Sound Switch. I have not. I know that there is the ability to do more things on the fly. I don't know that can you add a whole new fixture on the fly? Like, that's my question, because I can in the WMX1. You know, can I make those type of adjustments on the fly? Matthew says yes, you can. So I'm rocking a party in performance mode, and I want to add a new fixture. You're telling me you can add it in now in Sound Switch? Just making sure. See, I'm waiting for Matthew to reconfirm. And while he's confirming, okay, if you set your lights to do the last thing you were doing when DMX drops, you can swap out and get back in. Oh, I see what you're saying. So essentially it's running the very same program, but you also have to set your movers to not go to sleep with the loss of a signal. So it's a combination of things. So essentially what you're doing is, it's not Sound Switch that you're changing. You're changing the functionality in the movers to do something when it loses the signal. Correct? So it's not really Sound Switch that's doing that. You know, it's more your movers that have that feature, but fine, fair enough. So you can do that. That's great. You know, but like, I can just keep running. And I think that's just the issue. I'm going to update Sound Switch, and I'm going to start messing with it again. But there's one thing I will say that Sound Switch doesn't have. I'm actually going to get the Sound Switch. Yeah, Matthew, that's pretty much what it's doing in my opinion. Okay, so Sound Switch, Control 1 and the WMX. There's nothing wrong with the Control 1. It's a good board. But the one thing I will say is that if you didn't notice, there's a lot of buttons on here. There's a lot of buttons. They're all, backlit and color coded. I doubt this is going to work since I'm not plugged in. Yeah, it has to be on in order for you to see it work. And for the most part, it has everything. That's got your positions. Here, let me do this. It's got all your positions. It's got your white. I know it's hard for you to see. It's got your blackout, and then your auto loops and everything. And then these are all of your, basically your auto loops and your banks. And depending on what level you're at, that's where this is. Okay. Then you have your movement, your strobe, your hue, and smoke. Okay. Here's the issue. I don't know potentially where I am in regards to sound switch. Like, you get some indicators, but it's sometimes real hard to kind of distinguish what the indicator is doing. But, on the WMX1, here's my color, and then it's got its kind of default profile parameters here. Here's my move. I hit this button and it will do exactly what these things are doing with the figure eights and the dancing, all that stuff. This is the way the lights change colors in your fixture. And then you can come down to color, and these are overrides. Okay. The same thing that you would have in this thing. These are overrides. But I mean, yes, when you press, if this color is red and you want to do red override, yes, of course, it's going to show red here, which is great. But you don't have kind of this option, this position, like these are my positions, floor, center point, and every single mover has its own thing or every single, group has its own thing. On here, you have positions, which are the same, but it's different. Because now you have to remember what the position is that you got going on. There are banks. There's banks in. I think there's banks in both of them, because you can click on here and you can get to more custom positions. The same thing with the gobo. Obviously, apparently they have fixed this part in SoundSwitch where you can change your gobos, I guess, better on the fly, which you couldn't do before. But look, again. Move these over here. Again, my gobos have shapes and designs, so I can tell exactly which gobo I want to run. And then if I want to go to Prism, it's essentially, going to the live edit and then literally just, making a Prism effect in my live edit, and I'm done. That's why I like it. I'm a visual person, and as I'm not getting enough visual things in SoundSwitch for me to like. No, okay, but again, I don't want to. But again, I don't want anybody to think that switching from SoundSwitch to the WMX1 are all roses and butterflies. They're not, because obviously there's more control from a front end perspective, but you got to run that thing all day. You got to run it, when you're rocking the party, yeah, maybe you click over and you go to your live edit and you have a party setting, like for instance, I got one right here, you got a party setting, look, I have a Prism setting. That's actually supposed to say, that's 150 Prism. I don't know why it says 150, but anyway, there's a party. I don't really use them all, but I mean, I use the positions a lot, and And, just like on here, you hit shift and you click, and then you can adjust where your position is and then click back off and save it. So easy stuff done on the fly. Your blinders and your speeds and your blackouts, easy. But again, you got to run this stuff all night. If you want to make moments and you want to run strobes and, the whiteout mode and blinders, all that stuff, you got to run. In preset, it can be run via shows and custom. In preset, it can be run via shows. We're still saying the same thing. You're okay. Sound switch allows you to customize per song. If we're talking about running through presets, like basically essentially a chase, that's what we're talking about. It's a chase. That is not the same. It's not the same at all. On sound switch, you can go. So for instance, if I'm doing a bar mitzvah and I know that in my opening set, I play this song and this song and then this song, and then we go into the hora and I play this hora and this, and then I change it out to the boys hora and I change it out to the girls hora. Well, I can make literal visual cues and visual edits on that song. That's always there. So when I go into the hard part of the boys version and I want it to strobe, it'll just strobe without me doing anything. And that's the difference. You can't do that. So yes, you can run through parameters. Okay. I have one position and it's up here and it's set to prism and it's going. Now I have another one that changes it and now it's got just the standard spotlight because I want to do a spotlight and I want to have it drop down and then move over. Like all of these things, these are just steps. Okay. It's a step. It's a step point. Nothing wrong with it, but it's not the same. It's just not the same. And that's all I'm saying. I'm a hands-on person, so I don't have a problem. But I was thinking while I was at the party on Saturday night, the DJ, who's an amazing DJ, has no intention, no inclination to touch any button on the WMX1. So that means that my partner, the MC, has to walk over and, press a button. Now it's in party mode. And then he goes back to emceeing and everything. And it just stays in party mode the whole time. Doesn't go to strobe, doesn't go to whiteout, doesn't have cool effects, like all those things. And that's okay. But for him specifically, he's probably would be better if he just programmed all his music in Sound Switch. Because he doesn't. Like I can DJ and go to a thing real easily. Some people can't. Some people are just stuck in their things. So there's that. I have some Ape Labs coming, I think next week. So I will definitely be testing it with the WMX1. Okay, let's see here. All right, what time is it? 11:51. Please keep that light through. Sorry. Why would you not do uplights? These people are making things so hard. Okay. The perfect world sound switch would plug into the WMX1. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. I do, Matt. I do. We'll see. I don't know how many, how much stuff they're sending. Yeah, and sync to the music. Oh well, I mean you can do that with the WMX1. I mean, there's a port right on the back here for a line in that you can use it. Actually, there's a line in. There's a line in on here too, on the command. No line in on the sound switch because they want you to to go direct through the software, which is a whole nother thing. The software. I haven't used SoundSwitch in a while, so I'm assuming, but and you still need to keep the software up, right? Running in the background. I mean, that's kind of a big question mark. I never had the best experience when I would run the software in the background. I mean, everything was working fine, but I would get weird glitches within Serato that I never got if I wasn't running the software. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Actually, Matthew, the control one will function without it, but it's limited in what it can do. You can actually send your profile over to it, but oh no, I think you're right. I think it still requires the beats per minute. I thought you could. I thought you could do it manual. I thought you could still run the board manually. It just won't have any. It won't have any BPM data. But every time I would send it over, like, let's just send it to the control one, because that was the whole argument. Like, you can take this and go to any light thing and just send it over. And every time I would send it over, like, it wouldn't just like send a copy over to my sound switch. It would send like the whole thing over and like delete out my one. Thank God I made a backup. Anyway, if so, better getting a Flex 10 and using their DMX. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're down with the record box lighting, then yes, I actually have one here. I still need to use it. Here's the one thing I will say about yes, I am fully aware of that. Yeah. Because the WMX does have which you can do with SoundSwitch too. You can send out Ableton Link, and then it'll send BPM information. Okay. The one thing I will say about what it is that I do as a working DJ, and as a person that tests equipment out, what I know to be true is that I am never truly like 100% on top of my stuff. So I had to kind of stop because it was affecting my shows, not knowing the gear was sometimes affecting what I was doing live. So I kind of pulled back a little bit. So I'm not doing as much. I mean, I still test. Like, I got products right now that have been on several events of mine, and because I needed to learn them. But like the WMX1, I've been jumping around between ILS and the WMX and SoundSwitch. Like, you can never become like truly like great at that. Eddie B. Swift in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. Good to see you, man. So I've kind of stepped back a little bit because I think it's important. But you're not going to go wrong with any one of these devices, any one of them. They all do the job. They all do them effectively. It just depends on who you are. And, that's the hardest part of all this, especially when people are like, well, what should I buy? Well, it depends on what kind of person are you. You're a hands-on person? Do you like to do things on the fly? Do you like to do just something spark in your brain? You're like, oh, cool. Let me just hop to that. Well, then, and you're a visual learner and a visual user, the WMX1 is going to be the best. The sound switch, this is unnecessary. Okay. You don't actually need one of these. In fact, you would be better suited. Sound switch would be better suited if they just made a app for your iPad with push buttons, a whole bunch of these virtual buttons on the iPad that you could just click down the road. Oh, no. Feedback. Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm good now. I've been working in it. So that's why I know. Like I said, that's the good thing about the Wolf Mix. I can go to anybody's Wolf Mix and I can just run it like I've known it forever. You can't say that about Sound Switch. You can't. Everybody's going to make it differently, but it is. You can use your iPad to control Sound Switch. Explain, because it sounds to me, Matthew, like when you said, "Oh no, you can change everything when you said it." Is this a oh, I plug it in and then I can run an extended screen over to the other side. So now I can control it from my iPad because I can touch it, especially if I have an Apple Pencil, I can touch it. Are we talking about a dedicated iPad system? Because that's what I'm talking about. See, but if it's ArtNet, if it is ArtNet, it's a whole different animal. That is a whole different animal. And the average DJ is not going to do that. You know, nobody's paying for ArtNet just because. You know, I mean, I did. I paid for ArtNet when I first started using what was I using? The Lightrider. When I was using Lightrider, this was before my DMX Go licensed their copy of Lightrider and came out with their own. So I had to buy a whole new wireless DMX and do ArtNet and pay the extra $100 just for the ArtNet ability. Anyway, it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. So no. So yeah, but most people don't want to deal with ArtNet. They don't want to deal with it. If you are in production and you are a high value producer, AV person, then sure, they won't have a problem with it. But your average DJ, they don't want anything to do with ArtNet. Don't want anything to do with it. Okay. Let's see here. Who else we got? All right, let's see if I know I've missed questions. DJ Dan, what's going on, fam? Good to see you. I think more DJs should hire a separate person to control lights. The same way they have an MC separate from DJ, everything will run away better and smooth. Okay. I don't disagree with you. But for the most part, I have found that my clients, if your clients are hiring you to do official lighting, not, hey, we bring in some lighting for your dance floor. Okay. Like a typical event. If they're like, yes, we're doing the gobos and the color washes and the movers and all that stuff. And you have a light operator. They go, yeah, light operator. That makes sense. I need a light operator. You know, but if you're not doing all that, most clients aren't going to pay for a light operator. And I don't know what not true means. I don't know if you're talking about me, feedback. When you say not true. When you guys say things, you need to say things and then say more, because this is a cutoff. I don't know if you're talking about what I'm saying or if you're talking about something that's in the thing. So that just helps me be able to interpret the conversation better, so I don't jump to conclusions. Oh, DJ Dam. So I am not just gonna bring in a lighting guy and pay them, just so I can lose money on my stuff. You know, I mean, and for the most part, like I said, unless you're doing true lighting production, which we do it all the time. But unless you're doing true lighting production, most people, it's not an issue for them. It's not an issue. Okay. All right, let's see here. All right, it is 12:03. I'm gonna give you a couple of. Yeah, that makes sense. You're in a club. Like that absolutely makes sense. You're going to want a guy to run visuals. You're going to want to run a guy to run lighting. You're going to want a DJ. That makes sense. Perfect sense. Okay. All right, let's see here. I'm going to do something cool. I'm going to search Ask and see how many people actually use Ask. None of you people. All the ones that I've already done. Okay, so that does make it a little more complicated. So I can answer a couple more and then I can get out of here. My wife's telling me I need to pick up my daughter and I don't know exactly what time that she wanted me to do this. Okay. All right. All right, I am looking through. I've not used the tubes yet in it. Yeah, I can't stand this. I absolutely can't stand this. I hate the fact that it's an eye lock. Why in the world do we need eye lock? I am so tired of people having security dongles on stuff. Look, if you're telling me that I can't use sound switch without one of these, okay? Or look, old school, original, or one of these, okay? If you're telling me that I can't use it unless I have this plugged in, then why in the hell do I need to have an eye lock? When they were sending me product and they were like, oh, well, you need an eye lock. I'm like, I don't understand. Why do I need an eye lock? I have a dongle. It's a big ass box. This is a dongle. Why do I need an eye lock? These companies need to stop using eye lock. There's a reason for eye lock, and then there's not a reason for eye lock. Like if you are a software company, I get it. If your stuff can be hacked and cracked and all that stuff, fine. I get it. It's annoying. I was a Pro Tools guy for decades when I used to make more music, and that was just a part of life. You had your eye lock, and all your plugins had eye lock. All your Waves plugins, eye lock. Why do I need eye lock when I have a hardware unit? It's just dumb. It's dumb. And all it does is make things harder on us. It's dumb. It's dumb. I don't care what they have to say. I don't care what argument they can make. It is dumb to have eye lock when you are required to have a piece of hardware to activate said product. It's dumb. But they're not a software company. I mean, look, everybody's a software company, Matthew. You know what I'm saying? But you can't use it without a box of some kind. So I shouldn't need an eye lock. What's your take on tube lights? I feel a lot of DJs jumped on them, but they don't really produce brightness on the floor. Okay, so this is a good question. I don't mind tubes. Are they producing as much light as like some washes? Absolutely not. But you get enough of them. I mean, look, they're not all created the same. Okay. And, there are some light tubes that are considerably brighter than other light tubes. So I think in some respect you get what you pay for. But if you have, 4 Astera tubes on the stage with you, they're going to provide a good amount of light. Now, is it going to hit the back of the dance floor? Probably not. But I don't think they really care about that. I think regardless of your light tubes, you always need movers because your light tubes are replacing your washes. So I get it. But again, it becomes, tubes are funny. Tubes are funny because they don't really help anybody but you. In other words, it requires you to turn and look at the DJ to see what the tubes are doing. With movers, you know, they're everywhere. They're jumping around. Maybe they're hitting you right in the face because the movers are moving, you know, hence the name, moving back and forth. So you can see them. If you look to the right, you can still see the mover. You look to the left, you still see the mover. You look up. But with the tubes, they're not everywhere. So it's really ego driven, in all honesty. It's really ego driven. Look at me. Look how cool my setup is. In all honesty, that's what it is. I mean, it's the same reason that we have furniture. It's the same reason. Oh, speaking of furniture, not we specifically, my partner decided not to wait for me to get a review unit in. He decided that he was going to just go out and buy one. So he bought a Humpter. He bought a Humpter. It's good. It's good. It's expensive. We know it's expensive. You know, we're not trying to lie here. It's an expensive board, but it is good. It's solid. I will admit. It's strange though. It's funny because the deck where your DJ equipment is and the frame, super solid, doesn't move at all. But then there's a little table underneath, you know, that you can put stuff on, maybe your microphone box or shoes or whatnot. They're actually not heavy feedback. I mean, they're heavier, but they're not as heavy as having a full on hard piece furniture unit. I mean, I feel like you could get a couple of like a dragon board with the real wood version are pretty heavy. Those are pretty heavy. Cause like even I had an original dragging board. And when I used to drive my, Infinity FX4, or FX35, sorry, FX4. I'm too entrenched in DJ culture. Because of the way that my SUV would swoop at the back, I opted to get a skinnier board. So there was 4 pieces or 5 pieces instead of the 4, which were normally there. But they made them smaller, but the wood was heavy. And so it was heavy. It was heavy. But the one thing I will say is that the board underneath, because you know people were on the stage, and the controller wasn't moving, nothing was moving, the computer wasn't moving. It was pretty stable. But that table underneath, that table in the middle, was jumping left and right. So they had some water cups under there because they wanted to keep it nice and clean. Can't put water cups there. It moves too much. They have to figure out a way to lock that in better. Or I need to see if they did a good job. But I think that's the way they are. Okay. Let's see here. You know, this is one of the reasons why. Let's see what came to me. So the ILS we bought, the Command ILS we bought, the WMX1 was sent to me from Zounds. As you can tell, this is OG first generation. I bought this myself. I bought the Chauvets. Sound switch was given to me from In Music. So it's a combination of certain buys and certain not. But the Humpter is a good device. Is it better than my my Danny Max furniture? No, it's different, but I don't think it's better because it's still, the Humpty board to me is still very, very generic. That's just facts. Let me see if, oh, look, I got a picture of it. I got a picture. I did save it. Damn. I'm evil. All right, hold on. All right, here's the table. Here's the movement. Okay. Now. One, 2, and 3. Okay. Sorry, people. I'm just moving some stuff around. Okay. All right. So here's the Humpty board. And this piece right here is removable. So you can take this piece, and then behind this board is the bracket. So you can put a TV here. And it ends up being like a flush TV, which is cool. That's the one thing. And then here's the build up. And then let's see. All right. This is not an LED wall. Okay. So this is the deck. So you see I was rocking this. Why is it so bright right there? Oh, the front board. Okay. So we're just testing it out. I think the kids are dancing. You see this? There aren't a lot of people on the stage right now. It's just, you know, you can see the kids over here, but it's just one person on stage. One person. And one person jumping a little bit. And that's a problem. But you can see the bracket right there. For where you put the TV. Here's your bracket. Okay. I don't know. I know that the Pro X one does it. The 80J one, if it's the one I'm thinking about, I can't stand that one. That's the open one that's all trussy? Like, doesn't work for me. Okay. You have to get rid of the shelf when you put a TV in there. That's good to know. That's annoying. What is this on my? See, I've been pulling dirty ass things out of, like, I don't know what one of these movers was in, but it smelled so bad. And it was all over my hands. It was like, I don't know. It was nasty smelling. So I had to clean that guy off. The mesh looking ones. Yeah, it's just, you know, to each their own. I will give you $100 for the overhead camera. Well, you can just super chat that in, pal. And I will take that because I need to put another A7 IV up there. And that A7 IV is a good $2,000, $2,300 actually. And I will buy another one. Right now I'm still using the G9 from Panasonic. But I'm ready to finally just make it normal. Okay. All right. A couple more and then I'm out of here. Let's see here. Anything of note? Okay, I get that. Okay. Jose says, do you use dedicated monitors for producing or your party speakers? Oh no, I have dedicated monitors. I have several. I have some Yamaha. Well, actually right now on my desk, I have some older KRKs before they turned into shit, which sound absolutely amazing. I have my Yamaha, which one? HDH7s that I use here when I'm DJing at this table. And then I have some Rolands that I have at the office if I'm working there. So yes, I never use my speakers. Could you? Yes, but you can't mix down. You can't do any real mix down production off of standard, speakers out there. They're not designed for that. And you're going to be overcompensating. Okay. Would you do it if they offered the Control One for 700 versus 200 with no iLock? No, I wouldn't. I mean, I think the price is not the reason that there's an iLock on the Control One. That's not the reason. We know that. Okay. Philip, do you transport your rev with a deck saver or rely on your case furniture to protect the knobs and faders? Correct. I rely on the case. No deck saver. I don't have any deck savers. I have one deck saver, and it was given to me by, who was it given to me by? I can't think of, who gave it to me. Because, from Kareem. That's right. He put his phone number on here. Didn't even realize that. I gotta write that down. But this is the deck saver for the Denon Prime Go. Never used it. It's in a case. I don't love deck savers. I know that Mojax loves them. He's got a deck saver for every single thing. And I guess if you're sitting, if they're in a studio all the time and you just want to cover them to protect them from the dust and all that, like, I get it. I don't know. I'm moving around a lot. And I just feel like a deck saver just gets in the way. There's a deck saver at a nightclub that I DJ at. Makes sense because when you're done, you put the deck saver on, you leave it. I don't really like deck savers. I haven't found, I guess unless you're transporting it, but I haven't found the deck saver's ability to keep dirt off of your components any better than a towel. So I save a little money. Biggie Smalls says, ask, when is the damn Rain Performer dropping? And I know that there was a couple of other ones that popped up earlier. And the answer is, it'll drop when it drops. It'll drop when it drops. There's a thing called a non-disclosure agreement. Non-disclosure agreement? Yeah, NDA. Sorry, my brain's a little out of it today. So I'm not at liberty to tell you when things are dropping. But, if the powers that be are correct, it's this year. That's about the best I can give you. It won't be again. And this is one of the reasons why NDAs matter, because I can turn around and be like, oh, it's not going to be any later than this. And then it's later than this. The whole purpose of them is they haven't decided. They can dictate when they put stuff in and when they put stuff out. So I'm at the mercy of them. But I will say it's sooner than later. See what I did there? Okay. All right. Can I have the Prime Go deck saver? hey man, that was given to me. That's a gift. I don't just, you know, give my gifts away. That came from a man. This came from Kareem. You guys remember he had a very, very big DJ YouTube channel. This came from Kareem, and it was actually one of the last things he did before he shut his channel down. So, can't give that away. And another thing, this is what I was going to say before all the purchase stuff. So in this show today, about 2 hours, I have brought out probably 20 pieces of gear. 20 pieces of gear. Okay. That's why this show works. But when companies are like, here's a product, now send it back to me in 2 days, or you can't keep it. These are the things that make the show better. This is why I don't like sending stuff back. It's not because I want to keep it or, you know, I want to use it. It's because I need to reference this gear while I'm reviewing other gear. So like if I didn't have the sound switch or the command or I couldn't really do a true comparison. So when people are talking to me, especially when people are, you know, arguing with me, as people are known to do, because I've used them all, can go, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Are you sure you don't mean this? Are you sure this is what you're talking about? And we are all educating ourselves. That's why I don't like to send gear back. They think it's just because I want to keep it or I want to sell it. I haven't sold a single piece of gear I've been doing this since what? What are we in? It's since the pandemic. So probably, I think I started in 2017, late 17. I think it was late 17. Yeah. So I've never sold any gear. That's it. And this right here is the absolute truth. The absolute truth. And that's why this show is a DJ show. It's not a gear show. It's a DJ show. I happen to have a lot of gear and I happen to have a lot of experience using said gear. But I will say this, unless I'm using this gear like consistently over and over again, like I'm not the professional at said product. Like somebody that is using SoundSwitch religiously and exclusively, you know, for the past year is going to be much better at telling me what a SoundSwitch does or doesn't do than I am. Like I know, you know, from the initial review, but unless I'm using it, which is why I'm like, I go through so much gear all the time that I forget things that I'm using. I forget how to work things that I'm using. And people are always like, oh, well, you know, why are you struggling with this? Why are you struggling? I'm like, because I've just used 17 other products. And now I have to remember how to use this damn product. It can be a lot. It can be a lot. Not to say that I want to stop, but it can definitely be a lot. Okay. Takes no request. Why are the Serato beat grid edits such a pain in the ass? That's a good question. And it's not a question that I can answer. I mean, the beat grids in general with Serato, that has to do with Serato Studio too. Serato Studio. Sometimes working with those beat grids can just be a nightmare also because they use the same logic in Serato. I don't have an answer for you. DJ Chauvet would say that because he uses Ableton, and he's like, you should never make more than like 3 or 4 beat grid adjustments to the main, you know, 4/4 beat. I've never been that fortunate. Never been that fortunate. Ever. I'm constantly in there having to readjust, especially if I'm producing music and I'm trying to line it up, some live record with the 4 on the floor house beat. Like that's a nightmare. I pay good money for someone to grid all my tracks. Well, technically, you don't have to. Just get yourself Algorithm DJ with their dynamic beat grids, and you're good to go. If your gear works with it. Oh, just jabs. That's all I do is make jabs. Yes, no, I know. And the honest truth is, if I really want to, I have a Ref 7. I don't use my waveforms in my jogs. I have my logo there anyway. So if I really wanted to, I could use Algorithm DJ because it works with the Ref 7 on the computer and on the iPad. So if I really wanted to, I could, and it wouldn't be an issue. And that's my argument with a lot of people, DJs out there. If you only use one piece of hardware, then what does it matter what software you use? Use whatever works for you. It's only the people that either have a lot of hardware, or they're a club DJ, or, and they're jumping around from place to place. That's really the only time it's an issue. But besides that, if you've got one piece of gear, a couple of pieces of gear, Algorithm DJ is a good choice. Well, once they fix their syncing, that's a whole nother animal. Do you use Simple Sync? I do. I think it's on by default. I can't remember right now, but I believe it's on. Although it's turned way low. Yeah, exactly. We know. Nobody wants to, and they didn't even answer me. Like at all. Like, they didn't answer. And I'm just like, I don't understand. What are you guys doing? Okay. Anyway, small gear and backpacks. That makes a lot of sense, Jose. All right, guys. Okay. I was about to answer that. Okay, Deck Saver just threw another part around for me. Okay. DJ Eric, you are very welcome. Appreciate it. You're very, very welcome. Still unopened. I can't. And that's what I'm saying. It's still unopened. And I don't know that I'll ever open it. It's just a box. It's just a box with Kareem in it. Like, if I don't open it, Kareem could literally be in this box. I think he might be in this box. I just heard him say, ow. Okay. All right. I sold my carrot cases when my daughter was a toddler. Okay. One thing. Oh, okay. State Farm Jake. One thing you want to see in pet your travels. So, yes, everybody. Last couple of people before we take off. And by the way, hit that like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you know we do this every single Thursday. I will be at Level Up in Pittsburgh, April 21st through the 24th. Although I'm flying in on the 21st, so probably 22nd through the 24th. I don't know. I got to check my flight stuff here to see how badly this is going to be. Okay. Let's see here. All right. I'm at the Hotel Indigo in Pittsburgh. All right. And oh, American Airlines. Damn. This flight is at 6 a.m. in the morning. One thing I would like to see, longer days. Wow. That is early. That means, and where am I flying out of? Let's see here. Ouch. Layovers. All right. But it's only a 4-hour flight, so that's fine. So many layovers, and it's only a 4-hour flight. Oh, I see. On the trip home is a layover. Okay. The first way is direct. Okay, got it. All right. Well, that says 1,500 hours. That says 3 o'clock. April 21st. Okay. So I go to Chicago. My flight's at 6 in the morning, which means I have to be there at 4:30. And then it's a long ass flight, 4 hours. Then I get to Chicago and then I wait. And then I go at 3 o'clock to Pittsburgh from Chicago. It's going to be a long day. That feels like DJ Expo travel. That's going to be early. That isn't. And do I work the night before? I think I do. Where am I the night before? I have an AV setup. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, it's gonna be a long day. So what do I want to see in Pittsburgh? I don't actually know what's in Pittsburgh. Is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Pittsburgh? I know something is in Pittsburgh that is big. Did you ever get your new Shure wireless microphone? Not yet. We have enough, so it's been pretty light. I will end up getting one. Just haven't needed it yet. Don't worry, it'll probably be delayed. Knowing my luck, it will probably be delayed because normally speaking, I don't fly layovers anymore. Everything I fly is direct. I spend the money and I don't care because I know my luck, things are going to get delayed. Now, fortunately, there's a little bit of a gap in between here. So there's like a good 2-hour gap. I know these layovers that are like you land and then you go run to your flight. It's taking off in 30 minutes. Like that's ridiculous. No layover should be that quick. So Cleveland, Ohio. Oh, that's right. Thank you. It is ironic. Not ironic because it's Cleveland, Ohio, because that's not where I'm from. So there's really no irony in that because I've never been to Cleveland, Ohio. ADMC is there. Waddy J in the building. Is this some blend battle champion? Waddy J? Is that who's here? Blend Battle 24 champion Waddy J in the building. I'm flying out of LAX. 6 a.m. arriving in Pittsburgh at 5:27. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long, long day. And then on Wednesday, I fly out at 11:43 and then get in at 4:21. Still a long day. And it's pricey. It's always been weird to me how things get charged. Like I can fly into New York probably for the same price or cheaper than it costs to get to Pittsburgh, and it's a direct flight. It's just so silly, but the harder it is to get to these places. Montana, when I did that wedding in Montana, I think I've said this, it cost us so much money in flights. So much money in flights. I think my flight, I think it was like $800 round trip. It was because nobody goes to Montana. Nobody flies there. So it's just a lot of money. Same trip, it's just, anyway. Okay. N-bombs? What's T Diesel saying N-bombs for? I'm going to assume that's a typo from T Diesel. I never assume anything. T Diesel's harmless. Okay. Primantis Brothers. All right. Now that ADMC is there, I will definitely text him and see what he's doing. Yeah, I'm thinking about pierogies are the staple. So I can't eat pierogies. Steak Farm. I don't do gluten, so no pierogies for me. The mod was about to get modded. Oh man. Put yourself on timeout, T Diesel. All right. Raheem, any tips? And this will definitely be my last thing. So State Farm, you'll be there. So dope. Excited. I know State's going to be there. I know that Jetpack's going to be there. DJ Struss he's going to be there. Drew, Professor BX, I believe he's going to be there. And whoever else. It's Pittsburgh. I've like I said, I've been to Pittsburgh one time, and it was only for a layover that was delayed. So I stayed the night in Pittsburgh. That was the trip that took me 2 extra days to get to and from. It was a nightmare trip. Every single flight was delayed. Every single flight. Which is why I don't like layovers. Okay, let's see here. Any tips for a young guy looking into getting into mobile DJing? I'm starting fresh, and would you ever mentor? I mean, at some point I will mentor. I just don't have the time right now. Like the amount of work my company is doing right now, it's just not possible to mentor anybody. Look, start out simple. Okay. Start out simple when you're doing mobile DJ gigs. Start with people you know. Don't be afraid to give them, amazing deals. Get your name out there. Go to the what do you call it? Like the Chamber of Commerce, that kind of stuff. Get your name out there. Sometimes it would behoove you to work for a multi-op for a little while. Get your experience in, so you know what to do when you go off on your own. And then maybe, once you've gotten your experience and like you've met people and everything, when you go off on your own, you can call and be like, hey, I'm on my own now. Do you have anything for me? That's really all you can do, because word of mouth, I mean, you can try to do advertising and that kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm sure it works. We've never done any advertising whatsoever. Been in business for 16 years, never done one bit of marketing. We've never done one convention. Like, hey, come over here. You're having a wedding. Yeah, come check out my flyer and come meet. It's always been word of mouth every single time, every year. So we like it that way. No, that's a racket. All of those things are rackets. And every time they send me an email or they send me a call, hey, they don't send me a call. They call me. Hey, you're interested in, we can quadruple your sales, just by being, I'm just like, no, you can't. And so, and I don't trust you. Now, look, if you're only doing weddings, I get it. Maybe that's the avenue for you, but like, no, thanks. No, thanks. No, thanks. And then I know, just like anything else, Yelp is a prime example. It's a pay to play. Just because you're on Yelp doesn't mean it's helping you. Yelp's probably not helping you because on Yelp, right? Hold on. Too many tabs. All right, look. Okay. Let me get this off the board here. All right. This is Yelp now. Okay. And obviously they've changed some things around a little bit here, but let's go into okay. So 5 stars, not to mention the one crappy one that the lady just sent and I have to review. But look, this is what I'm saying. Yeah. All right, check 1, 2. 5 stars, 4.8 technically. And here's our information. But look, let me just slide down. You might also consider Feel Good DJs, Father Jeremy Bellamy. So this guy just does services, like the wedding services. You know, people also searched for, look, others nearby, you know, sponsored. So all of these things right here, all of these things, I can't take a call right now. All of these things are designed to help the people that pay money there. That's it. It's not designed to help you. So I mean, yes, and it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I've seen both ways, but I don't believe in Yelp. I don't believe in any of these things, you know. And again, my biggest issue is with Yelp. One thing, it's random, totally random. So if somebody goes to my page, you would think that either they would kind of, you know, stack them up with like the most recent reviews, or, you know, put them in a way and then, you know, the next thing you can change it up. It's completely random. Some days somebody might go on and see a 5-star review right at the top. Another person would go on and they would see the worst review we ever had. But the thing is, that review, let's say that review took place 9 years ago. We're not the same. You get what I'm saying? So I don't trust anything that doesn't have a consistent, especially for what we do. For what we do, you know, chances are your most current reviews are the most important ones. Not what happened 15 years ago. Like, that's just dumb. It's just dumb. Anyway, all right. Yeah, multi-op. Basically, just a company that does more than one on a weekend. That's it. And they're always looking for people. I'm not gonna do that right now. Okay. I wondered, okay, I think this is gonna be the last question. Is your company something you want Izzy to eventually take over once you no longer can or want to do it? Or would you and Paris just shut it down or sell it to some point? We don't know. It's a good question. I mean, I would love it if we could just keep it in and it just keeps going from generation to generation. I would absolutely love it. And Isaiah could absolutely do it. And I know, we have 2 boys that are definitely capable once they get older. So yeah, it'd be nice to keep it in. Because it's just one piece. We have the AV, we have the lighting and all that stuff. So it's technically multiple companies anyway under one umbrella. But yes, I don't want to just sell it and walk away. I want that to be, in my legacy. And hopefully, as we continue to do it, it won't be a sell it. It'll be we started with DJing, then we moved into audio visual and, LED walls and things like that. And then that's its own company. And once that becomes successful, we're probably going to move into physical buildings and, in event spaces. And then from there, and so on and so forth. So everything works synergistically. Everything is being leveraged. So, for instance, our DJing. Okay, we're one of the top, DJ companies in California. Great. Even sometimes outside of California. Great. Hey, by the way, we do lighting. Oh, you do? Well, we should hire you too. Leverage. Hey, we have LED walls. Leverage. Hey, we have photo booths. Leverage. It's all leverage. It's all leverage. So if you shut one down and I'm like, I'll just do this. Well, you potentially stand to lose easy business. It's really about leveraging. That's the key. Okay. Might do the DJ in the house. All right. And now, would you, yeah, yes, I would. Christopher Murphy. I use them all the time. I have a gig coming up next month for an elementary school. How do you find out what kind of music these kids like these days? Okay. So, George, this will be my last question because this can go a little long. There's key things here. One, 5th grade. So 5th grade means you got to be super, super clean. These aren't middle schoolers or high schoolers. So typically speaking, when you're playing for the younger ones, you're not playing current music anyway. You're playing music that's a couple of years back. So check. Okay. Sorry. So, you don't really have to worry about having the most up-to-date stuff because you're probably not going to play it. Now I really do want to go because I need to shoot this video. So I want to shoot this video before I run out of energy. I shoot videos in two places. Either I shoot it during the day at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or I shoot it at like 11 o'clock at night. Those are the two times. So I want to get it done while my memory's good. And we literally just went through all of this. So my memory will be fresh. So 5th grade means you play music from a couple of years ago. It's going to be clean. So you don't have to worry about playing the newest stuff. Don't play. I would not recommend playing anything that is questionable at all. Mark says, look at Kids Bop. Okay. I've never looked at Kids Bop, but if it works, it works, but like I said, I find that if you stay, a couple years back and, but these kids there's a lot more to it than just, oh, they're 5th graders. Where are they 5th graders? Are they 5th graders in, urban LA? Are they 5th graders in Colorado? Are they 5th graders, in the country? Like, there's more to it than just they're 5th graders. Because I know I'm not playing necessarily What Makes You Beautiful to inner city black kids, but I would play it for some suburban white kids. So there is a window, there needs to be kind of more information, but and obviously all the follow songs work. Where I'm from, 5th grade is listening to Wu-Tang. Fair enough. Yeah. So, but like follow songs work, the whips and the nays and the wobbles and the cha-cha slides, all that stuff. Those work really well. And especially because for whatever reason, the kid, it just resonates with them. Like say for instance, if I'm playing for kids, I'm playing the Justin Biebers. I'm playing the lip glosses. I'm playing Single Ladies and Crazy in Love. I'm playing Fireworks, Katy Perry. Again, like I said, all the follow stuff. If I'm playing hip hop, it's hip hop like low. I'm not playing Baby Got Back for 5th graders. It just depends. It absolutely just depends. It just depends. Taylor Swift, Philip is dead on, all those things, but it honestly depends. Jack Black features. It just depends. It depends on what it is. It depends on the group of kids, where they are, and what they're listening to. Dance Monkeys seems fine. That song is fine. I mean, legitimately, I could go into my whole thing and start pulling out songs, but I don't have time for that. Wu-Tang is for the children. All right, y'all. Yeah, I don't have time to open up Serato and wait for Serato to open up. I'm not in the mood. I mean, I guess technically I could just open up DJ and it would open up super fast. Let's see here. Exclusive offer for Apple Music subscribers. Oh, I already have Apple. Why would they? Okay. I just like looking at DJ. It's not really a thing. I just think DJ is designed very well. That's all. All right. But you know what? That's it for me. Spotify's great. Yeah. See, I mean, look, you're going to have to. Okay. Let's do it this way. You have kids? You ever, gone to like a, amusement park or gone to a movie or said, "Oh, hey, sweetheart, you should watch this movie. I love this movie when I was a kid." Okay. And then you turn it on and you're sitting there and you're watching this movie, but you're not really watching the movie like in real time with your kid. You're watching it like 20 seconds ahead of your kid. That's how parents watch movies with their kids, looking for, oh, that's right. That part's coming up where they rip their face off and it's skeleton. Like, that's the kind of way that you have to approach it. You have to look at it from like a kid's perspective, but more importantly, you have to look at it like a Karen's perspective. Everything you play, you have to think, would Karen be okay with me playing this song? I think I'm joking. I'm dead serious. Will Karen appreciate this? Because hey, we've all been there. I've played some songs that were harmless, and I've had a Karen be like, "Oh, you know, that's not really appropriate for these kids." And I'm like, "There's not a single dirty thing in this song. What are you talking about?" So trust me, we've all been through it. Okay. And the last question. Get a PC, it would open faster. No, thanks. I have a PC. I still prefer Mac. Last question. Mark, stop saying Kids Bop. Nobody wants Kids Bop. Because here's the thing. Remember this. And this is why I'm saying, but not those versions. Because not those versions is the difference between the Kids Bop and the regular. Because it's the words that they're looking for. Oh my God. They said booty. My kid can't listen to this. That's the issue. It's the fact that like the Kids Bop version is going to be written differently. Okay. Why do people book parties they're not comfortable playing at? Why aren't they willing to do the research? Everybody just wants easy answers. And as Cleveland just said, there are no easy answers. Well, look, first off, people naturally ask questions and they want help from people that are in it. I completely understand. But I also have this thing in me that in the back of my head that's like, what, you think I'm Nostradamus? Like, I don't see the future. Like, I don't know. I've done the same thing. I've done the research. I've seen what works and what doesn't work. And now I know what I need to do. But yeah, trust me. Well, so was I, V Squared. I was listening to Luke and Beastie Boys and Run DMC and, you know, all that stuff. Oh, Far Side. I mean, come on. Your Mama was one of the best songs ever. Anyway. So, you know, I'll look on any of the DJ communities or crate hackers, whatever. And there's always, hey, I'm doing a prom. Hey, I'm doing a school dance. Is there a playlist I can use? And it just, I want to believe that these are just references. Like they're taking them, they're going to pull them in, they're going to absorb them, and then they're going to use them in the future. Not just hey, you know what? I don't know what to play. Give me a list, and I'm just going to 1 to 30 playing the music, not mixing it because I only have so much. Like I let the whole song ride through. So I'm playing it all the way through, and then I'm done. And then I go to another party, and I don't do the research. I just ask Crate Hackers or this, hey, what do you think I should play on this Latin party? I just booked a Latin party. Hey, I just booked a Persian party. Hey, I just booked a Bollywood party. You guys got a list? And I'm just sitting there going, if you don't ever take the time to really understand what it is you're playing, it's like me and DJ gear, okay? If all you're ever doing is doing surface level work for everything that you got, okay, ILS, I know ILS just enough to do the review. WMX1, I know WMX1 just to do the review. Sounds good. If you are not using these things and know them like the back of your head, you're always going to struggle. Always. No matter what it is that you do. Like I can struggle with gear because it's gear. I'm smart enough to be able to work around my struggles if I'm not as familiar with it. And when it's all said and done, if I'm using a controller that I've never used before, it's still just 2 turntables and a mixer. So at a minimum, I can get through that party well. Okay. So, but music wise, you got to do the work. You absolutely have to do the work. You got to spend time. You got to spend time categorizing. You got to spend time cleaning up your stuff and making sure that your things have a nice flow to them. You got to do this work. It's a part of DJing. DJing is a lot less hands-on because you can literally DJ without touching a turntable, without touching a controller. You can DJ in your head. You can be listening to music and go, oh, that song sounds like this song, which sounds like this one. So if I do this and then I drop out the beat on this and then I bring this in for the wordplay, like all this stuff I'm doing in my head, I'm not touching anything. I mean, right now, I know it's harder because there are so many ways to get music and to get content. And you got your TikToks and your Instagrams, and then you got, your Spotify's and your Apple Musics, and they're all giving you different stuff. And then you got the radio, and you got satellite radio. And then you got SoundCloud and all these SoundCloud rappers. Like, it's a thing. It is a thing. It takes a lot of work to be a DJ. So I appreciate companies like Crate Hackers and even BeatSource with their with their crates. Like I appreciate that, but that's not supposed to be a replacement. And people are using crate digging. They're using these things, Crate Hackers, BeatSource, all these curation. They're using it as a crutch. So if you don't know the music, it's never going to really truly make sense to you. Just an opinion. And if you're only playing what they tell you to play, you don't know you know what might work too? This might work also. This might do it too. You don't know those things because you're just playing music. You're just literally, you're a step away from AI, in all honesty. And if you are playing on the list, you are essentially Spotify. You're Spotify with some pizzazz. Anyway. Yeah. But like I said before, I mean, we do all the same thing. People will open up like, the Billboard's top 100 or the radio top 100. Like I get that. And you'll listen to the music and go from there. But I've had horrible experiences, okay, from people feeding me playlists. Like say, for instance, there was a couple of times where I had worked, I was working this Latin club and I worked it in like 6 months. So I knew I was completely out of date. Okay. And this is a perfect example of what I'm saying. I knew I was out of date. So my partner's like, hey, cool. No, I'll just feed you the top songs, and then you can just play those. Okay. So got there. I still had my old crates that were old, right? And then I had these new crates. And as I'm playing the music, I'm not getting reactions, okay? I'm getting more reactions as I play my old music than by playing the new music. Why do you think that is? Honestly, why do you think that is? Do you think it's because my music is just resonating and I'm just hitting all their spots? Sure, a little bit. That has to do with it, but that's not the issue. The issue isn't that I'm playing throwbacks and they know the throwbacks. It's a piece, but it's not the main thing. The issue is that I'm DJing the music. When you play music that you don't know, you are not DJing the music. You're playing the music. You're essentially just letting it go through. These are facts. You're not comfortable with it. You don't know it. You don't know where the in and out points are. You don't know when you should be mixing out. You don't know what part you should be playing. If you should be playing the ending of it or the beginning, you have no idea. And that's the difference. It's the energy that I am pushing out while I'm DJing that is being absorbed by the club goers, because they will feed off of your energy. And if you are more passionate about certain music and less passionate about other, they're going to feed, because you're going to DJ differently. And it's obvious when you're DJing differently. And that's the difference. So I was just like, I'm just going to keep playing my old school, and I'll play the stuff, and then I'll come back later on my next time and then reincorporate that. Because I was getting much better responses from old music than I was from new music. There you go. I get people right now, even when I'm playing, oh, you don't know this new current kids hip hop track or whatever. I'm like, no, I don't know every new song that comes out. It's hard to keep up, but I'm going to keep up as well as I can. And it's disposable anyway, so it doesn't matter. But, I'm going to play stuff that works for all generations. Book report without reading. There you go. Yeah, agreed. All right. That's it for me, guys and girls. I don't know if there's any girls on today. Please, guys. I usually recommend to play a next list when I don't know where to go next. It's helpful, jogs my mind. I see a song. Yeah. I mean, look, I know there's recommends in that. There's recommends in virtual DJ. Like, I get it. Do I have a problem with it? I don't know. Sometimes you get brain farts, like sometimes you're just DJing. Maybe you've been DJing for, 3 or 4 hours and you're just tired, or that you're on your double and now you're just like exhausted. Sorry, people are just texting me. So, and sometimes you need that help. So I get it. I'm not going to fault it. I don't personally have those windows up. I've never used them. I mean, I think if your crates are, because I think first off, sometimes the recommendations are trash. That's first off. Secondly, if your crates are good, then you're typically fine. And if they're recommending a song that is completely out of the like a lot of the times, like with Record Box, like they will recommend stuff that you've played with it before. I like that a little better. So if like they give you, 5 or 6 ways that you can get to said song, to the next song, like I like that. But I don't like when they're feeding me music, because it feels like I'm not doing the job. If they're telling me, hey, you normally play this song or these songs with it, I'd like that better than you should play this song. I don't know. Look, again, tools. You either choose to use them or you don't. Sometimes I use sync, sometimes I don't. But I don't have a problem using sync. But sometimes I automatically hit the sync button. Sometimes I mess with the fader. Same damn thing, but sometimes I feel like it and sometimes I don't. especially during Kylie in the house, especially during the like when I'm going through multiple things real fast, I'm flying through stuff, especially for the horror. There's so many little things that goes into that. Like sometimes, yeah, I'll bring it up to, because the horror is around 70 beats per minute, and then sometimes, or 140. So sometimes I'll go up to that with the pitch. Sometimes when I'm loading a new song in, I just hit automatically sync and then just go on with my day. It doesn't change. It depends on my energy level that day. That's it. But the funny thing about it is that on occasion you might run into a song that for whatever reason hasn't been analyzed properly. And then you have to go back to just using your ear. There's no sync when it hasn't been analyzed properly. There's no sync. There's no effects don't work right. Your pad modes, some of those things don't work right. Your loops don't work right. Like little things. And then you're just like, oh, I got to go back to traditional DJing. You should be able to. It shouldn't even be a question. You load a song, there's no information in there. Okay. There shouldn't be a question. You should still be able to do it. And that's the difference. That's the only difference I have. I don't have a problem with sync. Why is everybody texting me? Oh my Lord. Anyway, that just tells me I got to go. Oh, hard beat. Thank you so much, fam. Appreciate you. Yep. I hit 50,000, April 1st. April 1st, I officially hit 50,000 subscribers. So I thank you guys all for being around and being, loyal to what it is that I do. I know you have many choices out there and I appreciate that. All right. Enough about that. G Kenny in the building. I know you've been there. I'm saying hi now. All right. I am gone. Let's see. This weekend, I am in Palm Desert doing AV for a friend of mine. So I will be there in Palm Desert enjoying the hopefully nice weather. I'm doing ceremony sound, lighting, and silent DJ. He's got silent headphones coming there too. Then, so we have 2 more weeks, 2 more Thursdays, before I have started doing a little bit of stuff on Twitch. I've started. I don't know how long it's going to last, but I've started doing stuff on Twitch. Coming back. All right. Why does UMG always mute our videos on IG and Facebook when we do our mashups? It just happened to me because they're different companies, young Nick. They're flat out different companies and they have different rules. That's it. And just honestly, IG and Facebook, don't ever think about them for music. It's always going to kick you off, going to turn you off. That's just the way it works. TikTok has the same rules, but a lot of times they're not afraid to spend more on the royalty aspect of it, is my guess. And DJing wasn't a big thing for them because remember, TikTok has always been a music site. That's how they started. As a music site, they worked with the labels. So I think the labels are just a little different with them, but yeah, IG and Facebook, especially UMG, Warner Brothers, they're a nightmare to stay off of there. You can say Rain 4 40 times. Unless you have a point to what you're saying, I can't help you. Okay. All right. All right. So time to polish off my empty. That's funny. Mixcloud and Twitch are safest for streaming music. I mean, do we have to keep talking about this? I don't mean to say that in a rude way, and it had nothing to do with Jay Everyday, but it's been over 4 years. At this point in time, this shouldn't even be a conversation. Twitch, Mixcloud. Those are the two. TikTok seems to be okay if you're okay spinning in vertical mode. But Twitch and Mixcloud. Mixcloud, technically the only legal source. Twitch, not legal, but they don't care. I think we can move on now. Anyway. All right, y'all. I do have to head off. Hit that like button on your way out. Thank you so much for hanging out. It's longer than I wanted to, but that's okay because I think we had a really good show. So, I always appreciate you guys hanging out. Still 90 plus people in here after 3 hours. So thank you very, very much. All right, everybody, this weekend, go out, have great parties, enjoy your 404 day, whatever that means. When is 420? Is 420 on a Saturday? 420 is on a Saturday. Okay. Oh, thank you, Matt. Appreciate that, fam. Appreciate that. Sorry, Long. You missed out on a really good show. Your loss. Anyway. All right, y'all. We'll see you soon. Have a great weekend. Have great parties. Like yourself on the way out. Peace.